Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to being a guest. Today we have from Pawtucket, Rhode Island, Karen Gasperini. And Karen is a children's author. She's written 2 books, Ariana's Magic Boots and Ariana's Underwater Sea Adventures. Now, welcome.
Thank you.
I thought for a second maybe you designed the covers, but you have someone do that, right?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell me the history behind your books? Because it has a lot of the story to it.
The history is that the books are Ariana's character is based on my daughter, Ariana. She's actually just turned 16 now.
She's 16?
And at the time when she was a toddler, she was having a hard time wearing her AFOs, which are like braces.
Okay, what we're talking about is these right here, right?
Yes.
And she has a disorder called Beals
syndrome, yes.
What is Beals syndrome?
It's a congenital, it's called congenital arachnodactyl, which is basically a genetic disorder, rare genetic disorder. Not many people have it.
Yeah.
And it's basically like a physical deformity.
Mm-hmm.
You're usually born with scoliosis. As you can see, I have severe scoliosis. You're born with club feet. My daughter and I both had to wear leg braces. She currently still wears them.
She's still wearing them, and she's 16.
She's 16.
You don't wear them now,
No,
right?
I don't wear them.
The scoliosis, that I had a friend growing up, and she had it so bad, they actually, back then, but they had her in a thing. She had to wear it 23 hours a day. I think even when she went to bed.
Yeah, I had that before, too. I had to lay flat for, like, the longest time.
Isn't there a surgery they can do for that?
There are a lot of surgeries now. My daughter actually has scoliosis and kyphosis, but they corrected her spine really well.
They did a good job.
Because they started early, and there's so many. I mean, the difference between her and I is I've been through, sort of saying like the test on me a little bit, and I seen things that my mom went through and things that they tried with me that didn't work.
Yeah.
So I made sure they didn't do the same to my daughter.
That was you'd been through the experience, so that you could help her. Is she your only child?
Yes, she is.
She is. So she's watched you. You've been the power of example for her.
Exactly.
So were you born with it yourself?
Yes.
You were.
And she got it from me. So.
Now, where did you get the idea of these Ariana's Magic Boots?
Well, when I was a child, myself. I used to complain to my mom, why do I get to wear these? At the time, they didn't have these kind of fancy ones I actually wore like the Forrest Gump ones with the metal and the chain. You could see the picture in the end of my book.
Yeah.
I'm wearing them.
Beautifully
with my little brother.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. I didn't want to wear them. I didn't understand why I had to wear them because I was, 5, 6 years old. I wanted to go play with my friends, just like any other kid wanted to. So when my daughter started to voice the same things, it kind of was like deja vu for me.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart. So there's got to be a way to change the cycle. And I would tell her, why we're going to therapy or why we're at therapy, they don't have to be a burden. They could be something fun.
Sure.
So I said, why don't they just be your magic boots?
Your magic boots.
And you could use them, because we used to pretend all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, why don't these magic boots take us somewhere new? Where would you want to go? And we would look at different things around the atmosphere we were at.
Yeah.
And she would say, how about we go visit some animals at the zoo? Or how about we go to the jungle?
Sure.
Or we go... So I would tell her, like, why don't you close your eyes? And
Close your eyes.
And then it just kind of all fell together, like stomp 3 times and say, away we go. And then our adventure together would begin.
Right.
So now that she's 16, she would say to me, Mom, those help me a lot, those stories.
Yeah.
Why don't maybe put them in a book to help other kids?
I love the back of this. This is the one, her underwater sea adventure. Come join 5-year-old disabled Ariana on a magical journey under the sea. Wear her magic boots, which are ankle-foot orthosis, right here.
Yes.
Okay, right here. AFOs and sneakers. Becomes a mermaid tail that helps her swim to a new adventure and meet some mermaid friends. All she has to do is close her eyes and stomp 3 times and say, away we go, and the adventure begins. Was it hard for you to come up with this, or you just knew what you were going to do?
Well, the second story, it was a little different when I told it to my daughter. When I decided to publish it, I changed it because I actually have 3 nieces that love to be mermaids, and they said, "Oh, can we be in this book?" So that's why it's been changed. With the three mermaids have been drawn exactly like my nieces.
Where would people purchase your books?
They are available on Amazon.com,
On Amazon, yeah.
BarnesandNoble.com, Stillwater Books in Pawtucket, downtown Pawtucket, and also Books on the Square in Wayland Square.
Are you giving presentations and book signings at all?
I haven't just yet, but I actually am going to be at the Rhode Island Comic Con.
The Rhode Island what?
Comic Con.
Comic Con? No, what's that?
That's in November. It's in downtown at the Dunkin' Donuts Center.
At the what center?
Dunkin' Donuts.
The Dunkin' Donuts. What is it? Like a big craft fair? Or?
It's kind of like Coldplay, kind of. All the kids wear different costumes and things like that.
Oh, it's for the kids.
Yeah, it's not just kids, adults too. It's like superheroes and things like that. But they have a section in that. It's a convention. In that convention, they have an area for authors. So I'll be in that area.
These books are adorable. Again, Underwater Sea Adventure, Anna's Magic Books. That was 2. This one must have been the first one, Her Magic Books.
That was the first one, yes.
How long did it take you to write these in between each other?
Well, one was in October of last year, and the second one's actually this March.
Well, you're quick.
Yeah. And
you are quick.
The third and fourth one's actually almost done. But I actually have been working on them being... My illustrator has been making them into coloring books.
Coloring books,
Yeah,
yes,
I figured that would
definitely.
be cute. So
Yeah.
she's making them into coloring books.
Who
right
is
now.
your...
Her name's in the front. Deanna.
Let me see.
The second book is spelled better.
She's the illustrator?
Yes,
And
she
she
is.
okay,
And both-
Deanna McRae, and she's going to make them into coloring books.
Yes, that's what she's
That is a
doing.
fantastic. So you get the book for the child to read, and also the coloring book. And especially parents out there, if you have a little one growing up, or even a teenager who's wearing the boots, right? And it's called Beale syndrome.
Beale syndrome.
Is it hereditary?
It can be. They told me that it's dormant in a lot of families, and certain things kind of trigger it to kind of activate, is what they told me. But it is really rare that it could be, it's like a 1% chance.
A 1%
People get
chance.
it, yeah.
And your daughter got it too?
Well, when the mother has it, then the child, it's about 50-50.
Do you have brothers and sisters with it?
I do, and I'm actually the only one that has it. My mom has, I have 3 brothers and 1 sister. I'm the middle child.
Yeah. And so they're fine.
Yeah, they don't have it.
And you were the one who got... Now, was it your mother who had it?
No, my mother or my father don't have it. From what the genetics told me, they told me that they believe the gene is dormant on my father's side.
Okay.
But recently we haven't seen anybody that in my father's side that has it yet. So, but I believe my grandmother did have scoliosis though.
Scoliosis. Yeah, my great-grandmother, they called it in the old days Dowager's hump.
Oh,
She was like, just this little thing, but she was like, she had this, she had it big time.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm amazed that she lived to 96. How long she did, I don't know when it began, because I was just a little kid when I met her.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember her always being kind of hunched, but it became, we've had a friend, my husband and I had a friend who has that same problem. They're just walking with, you're able to stand pretty well. Do you have to have a brace?
I used to. I kind of just been able to kind of adapt. I'm more of the one that just,
Very good.
I'm like someone that just adapts to my,
Yeah.
to live my life. I don't dwell on it. So.
Is there another, now this is volume 2, is there a volume 3 coming out?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that one's going to be yet, but I am focused on a little boy in the story
A
this
what?
time. A little boy.
A boy,
In
okay.
the story with Ariana.
Yeah.
So Ariana's always going to be the main character.
She will, yeah.
She's just going to have other kids. As you can see in the second one, the one of the mermaids have a hearing aid. So
Yeah.
I was trying to show different diversity.
Different disciplines.
Especially that the fact that that mermaid is based on my niece that has a hearing aid. And she wanted to be in the book, so I wanted to make sure I captured everything.
Have you been in Pawtucket a long time? Are you from the area?
I'm actually born in Providence.
Providence, yeah.
I lived in Pawtucket maybe about 15 years now,
Yeah.
16 years. But I've been in Rhode Island my whole life.
Yeah, I lived in Providence, in East Providence, before I moved up this way. And we weren't far from PC, Providence College,
Mhm.
Smith Street, up that way. I remember it very well. Sometimes I miss it because I loved the college atmosphere.
Yeah.
Oh, you get Brown.
Yeah.
And what's the other one up there?
Well, there's Rick and then there's RISD.
RISD. My friend of mine went to Rhode Island School of Design.
Mhm.
Beautiful glasswork. I remember going up there, and it felt so inviting to me.
It's a lot of fun.
Do you do anything besides writing? I mean, do you have any time to do it? Do you work at another job?
No, I'm a student at Fisher College up here in Boston.
What are you studying?
I am studying medical billing and coding.
That's a big one right now. What does that mean, medical billing and coding?
Basically, when anyone visits to the doctors, your order that you put through, it goes to like my department to bill your insurance. I put the codes in to say what you came to the doctors to be treated for.
Is it hard to learn?
I don't want to say it's not hard, because it is at some points, but other times it's a little easier than others. It's more like codes for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like a headache has a certain 5 or 6 digit code.
Yeah.
That's just basically it. It's just a computer way of charging someone.
Do you have to be a good typist, right?
No.
For your computer?
No, it's basically just knowing searching the PCS books or the books to find the code. Or there's also a 3M coder, they call it,
sure.
and that's a computer one where they help you find.
And they help you too. How long have you been studying at Fisher?
A couple years, like 2
How
years.
much longer have you got to go?
Actually, I graduate in May.
So it's like a 2-year program.
Yep.
And where is Fisher College?
It's in Boston, but I'm doing their program online now.
Okay, I was going to say, how are you getting there from part-time?
I was, but then it was a little bit too much for
Yeah.
me. So they have online one where you Skype with your teacher and your classmates.
Mhm.
So that works. So really
It's funny.
well.
I've always wondered what it would be like to go to college online.
It's actually kind of fun. I like it, and you basically just have to get dressed from here on out.
Yeah.
and
You could be in your pajamas from here
from the
down, right?
bottom, and then up here you're all made up.
So what is your daughter now? I know she has Beale syndrome too. What does she think of your books?
She loves it. She thinks it's great. It's so funny because she actually attends technology school right now.
Yep.
And when her classmates see me on TV, they're like, I could have sworn I saw your mom on TV. And she's like, oh boy, here we go.
What other shows have you been on?
I've been on Providence Channel 12.
Yeah.
And their road show. I've been on business with designing business.
Yeah.
All different radio stations. It's just been kind of bananas actually right now.
Yeah, you got a lot on your plate.
It's crazy. I actually been invited to do the anti Victoria's Secret fashion show.
A Victoria's Secret fashion show? We bought your books?
Yeah, anti Victoria's Secret.
Anti-Victoria's.
Which is a pretty big event now because it's regular women in a fashion show. So they invited me. It's in November.
So people maybe who have a disability, showing how, what would that be doing with Victoria's Secret?
Well, it's more like not just women that have disabilities, any women that are either have not the right height to be a Victoria's Secret model, or not the right weight, or you know what I mean. If they have a disability or they don't, it's more like just everyday women, being comfortable with themselves, being in a fashion show. And
that's great. You're going to be in the fashion show?
Yes.
Okay, it's not for your books now. It'll be for the fashion show.
Well, they invited me because of my books. And
oh, wow.
Because they said that I was inspirational. And they had they only had one event. It was last year, but it was pretty big.
Where's it going to be?
It's in Philadelphia.
You're going to Philadelphia for this fashion show?
Yes.
Are you going to get some free clothes?
Yeah. Well, so far it's they design your outfit, so I believe it's just one outfit, and they're letting me know what the color palette is for what I'm going to be wearing, and it makes you kind of feel like a celebrity because you get hair and makeup and all the stuff that they do.
Well, you've seen that show Project Runway?
Yeah.
This is going to be like they're designing for you.
I know.
Is your daughter coming with you?
No, she has school and stuff like that, so I don't want to make it like she's going to miss anything.
So you're going to bring your 2 books, or what? How did they find out about you with your children's books?
I've been there's a lot of reviews going on Instagram about my children's books. A lot of children putting up reviews, and also one of Instagram's sensational YouTubers is a little girl named Baby Jade, and she did an amazing review, and that kind of went pretty well.
We're talking with Karen Gasperini. She's a children's author, but she also wants to get the message across about what it's like with the children wear boots. It's called Beale syndrome, and it affects your back and your legs, or is it just the legs?
It it's a physical deformity.
Okay.
Like my hands, see, they're not straight like everybody else.
Yeah.
I was actually born with my fingers, my thumbs sticking out.
Okay, so
You have club feet, so your feet are always worn inward.
yeah.
Your spine, sometimes your eyes.
Yeah.
Seeing, I wear glasses, so it's like a lot of physical things, but mentally it didn't.
No, it didn't affect you at all. No. So, when did you get her books? Are just so cute. Ariana's Magic Boots. What a great way to get the message across to children. The way you came up with that, the magic boots, to also get them to wear them and not feel self-conscious.
Yeah, because it's just I feel like being in their shoes before.
Yeah.
I know how it feels to not want to do something and not understand why you need to. And
Yeah.
this was my way of showing them it's not as bad as it looks.
No.
It could be fun.
If you're a parent out there and you have a youngster who has to wear these or has a something like Beals or scoliosis, that type of thing, these books are terrific. Ariana's Magic Boots, Underwater Sea Adventure, and her Magic Boots. This was the first one. And you're working on the third one now, right? What's that
Yes.
one going to be?
Well, there's a couple of them I've been working on. I'm not sure which one's going to be the third one, but there's one with a race car right now, and another one with dragons.
And it's what?
Dragons and a race car. Two
And
different ones.
a race car and a dragon.
Yeah, 2 different books though. I'm not sure which one's going to be the next adventure, but I've been kind of going back and forth with both of them.
Have you let the different hospitals and rehabs know about you?
Right now, I've been talking with Pawtucket Special Ed Department,
Yeah.
and I was supposed to have a meeting with Meeting Street.
Well, I'm
So
thinking
wait
of,
for
now
that.
that you have Providence, the hospital in Roger Williams, but here near in Worcester, they have the very famous UMass Memorial Medical Center with a private children's hospital within it. Oh my God! I mean, if they knew about these type of things, I think it'd be excellent. There's so many. We've got Milford Hospital right up the street.
Yeah, I'm trying to branch out that way. It's just, this has all been pretty new to me,
Yeah.
so I just more started off with just telling my daughter stories. And then a friend of mine, he actually published his own children's book, and when he published by his second one, he's the one that told me, your storytelling, you should put those in a book. And then that's when it wasn't really something I was thinking about doing until he said, that's a message that you should try to get across.
Karen, again, how can people go about? There'll be copies here in the Upton Town Library, but how can they go about getting your book?
They could go to Amazon.com. They could go to BarnesandNoble.com. They could go to Stillwater Books downtown Pawtucket, and also Books on the Square in Wayland Square, Providence, Rhode Island.
Was it hard for you to grow up having this? Were you able, of course, power of example for your daughter and to know ahead of time how to help her? But was it hard for you growing up to try and fit in and do what you wanted to do?
There were times. I mean, I actually was really blessed because I have brothers and sisters, and I also have brothers that may not be blood, but they grew up in our household, and they are my brothers to me.
Yeah.
So I did have a point where when someone new started the school, didn't know whose sister I was and would try to bully me, and I would be in tears, and then my brothers would be there to make
The brothers were there to
apologize.
protect you.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Oh yeah. So it was more like in tears going to my brothers, and next thing I know, the person that was making me cry is at my locker saying I'm sorry, and one of my brothers is right there with me.
Did you have a brace when you were growing up?
I did. I wore different back braces. I had to sleep with them. My brothers used to bother me about that too.
Yeah.
But that was just right.
And then foot braces as well?
AFOs, yes, I did.
How did you get around?
I've always found a way.
Did you have to use a walker at any time?
I did at sometimes, but it was just it was more like I kind of pushed through it.
Yeah.
I've never been one to follow everybody's norm of what I should and shouldn't be doing because I'm disabled.
Yeah.
So I always found my way, and my mom, incredible, always found a way to make me fit in, and she's never made me feel like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, because I mean, I did everything just like the rest of my brothers and sisters. I had chores like everybody else, I got disciplined like everybody else, so my mom didn't treat me any differently. It was more like, you have that mouth, you're gonna get punished for that mouth too, just because.
Did you grow up in Pawtucket?
Providence.
In Providence.
Yes.
So, coming up here, had you been up this way before?
No, not this far up. It's really beautiful, actually. I was like, wow, I like it up here.
Get you. You know, there's a bookstore over in Westboro called Tatnut Bookseller. Very, very, very excellent bookstore. I can see you doing a presentation over there too. Really, it's like 8 minutes up the road.
Really?
Oh yeah. But again, I can see the different, like Spalding Rehab and a lot of the different rehabs. Children have to go there too, and I can, boy. I know that if I were working there and I saw these coming in and you told your story to me, I'd make sure these books were always available for the parents, for these kids.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely. So, thank you for coming. Now, when your next book, when do you think that might be out?
I'm not really sure because I'm kind of more, I wanted to branch out and, like you said, meet more of the children, because a lot of the children that have been touched by my stories, they send me pictures of them holding the book, and they want to know when they can meet me. And I'm also part of Clubfoot organization in California, so I actually have to do a video for them live coming up this week. And so I kind of want to, get to know face to face the kids that.
How about Isn't there a Shriners in Boston?
There was. I'm not sure if it's still here.
Because anyways, Boston Children's Hospital, you're going to find children there with all kinds of disabilities. I mean, this would be inspirational, and parents, getting the word out to the parents.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. I should hire you for my agent.
No, definitely.
That's
I know where to get you. Thank you so much for being with us. And let me know when the next part of this comes out. This is great. We've been talking with Karen Gasperini, and I would say you're a survivor of Beals syndrome, right? And you went through a brace on your back, braces on your feet. Now your daughter at 16 is going through this, and she decided to write books for children so they could cope. Ariana's Magic Boots and Underwater Sea Adventure, and there's another one coming. There's a race car, and what else?
Race car or dragons. One of those ones is going to come. But definitely the coloring books will be next.
Well, you're an inspiration. Well, you got to get the word out, because there's a lot of children with disabilities out there.
I just don't know how. I'm learning. This is such a new world.
Stick with me, kid. Get you out there. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you back, okay?
Yes.
We'll see you next time and be my guest.